Hello, I'm Mike Nelson. I'd like to welcome you to this special audio track for Night of the Living Dead, or as it's known to its fans, NOTLD, or Notled, or maybe it's Notled, or Nodled. You know, hang on, I think they say Nodled real quick like. Well, whatever it's known to its fans, I'm here to guide you through the world of NOTLD. No-telled, noodled, not newtled. You know, folks, this opening shot was very difficult because in this remote location, they had to wait more than 2 days for a car to show up in the shot. Late in the first day, a tractor with a hay wagon rolled by, but it took more than an hour, and it really wasn't all that dramatic. And then here, the camera guy had to load up, pass the car, and set up again just to get this shot. And then there, too, had to run ahead, pack up his gear. Had to run really quick to get ahead of the car. Are you feeling a sense of dread yet? Because I'm not yet. It'll get there. See, they installed that cemetery sign, and like every rural sign, within minutes, someone blasted it with a shotgun. And by this time, the people in the car began to get suspicious, so they got out and confronted the film crew, who in turn wrote up a quick contract and got them to agree to be in the movie. It worked out nice. Little trivia here, this car got less than a mile per gallon. Sometimes they'd have to refuel it in the middle of a shot.
They ought to make the day the time changes, the first day of summer.
What?
Well, it's 8 o'clock and it's still light.
A lot of good the extra daylight does us. Now, we've still got a 3-hour drive back. We're not going to be home until after midnight.
Well, if it really bugged you, Johnny, you wouldn't do it.
You think I want to blow sun?
You know, his driving gloves are an attempt to make him feel better about having to settle for the Le Mans over the GTO. Though he does have the rally wheels and the wide-track chassis.
Is there any of that candy left?
You know, this guy was the inspiration for Beaker on The Muppet Show.
You know, I don't even remember what the man looks like.
Johnny, it takes you 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes to put the wreath on the grave and 6 hours to drive back and forth. Mother wants to remember, so we trot 200 miles into the country and she stays at home.
Well, we're here, John, all right?
Beaker's actually better looking than this guy.
Back on? Ladies and
Hey,
gentlemen, we're coming back on the air after an interruption due to technical problem.
The eerie music adds to the tension of parking his Le Mans.
There's nothing wrong with the radio. Must have been the station.
Which row is it in?
Cinematographer got interested in a squirrel here for a minute.
Well, there's no one around.
Well, it's late. If you'd gotten up earlier.
Oh, look, I already lost an hour's sleep when the time changed.
I think you complain just to hear yourself talk. There it is.
You know, the thing about this woman's wig, that it took extra time because they wanted to make sure it didn't integrate with her actual hair at all.
I wonder what happened to the one from last year. Each year we spend good money on these things. We come out here and the one from last year's gone.
I don't think it was that good of money.
The caretaker or somebody takes them away.
Yeah, a little spit and polish. You can clean this up. Sell it next year. Wonder how many times we bought the same one.
Now that actor there, his name is Russell Streiner, and he went on to produce another George Romero film called There's Always Vanilla. Just a strange title, but if you think about it, it's kind of a comforting thought. No matter how much evil there is in the world, no matter how bad your life may be going, there's always vanilla. It's taken me through many a long, dark night.
Hey, I mean, praying's for church, huh? Come on.
I haven't seen you in church lately.
Well, there's not much sense in my going to church. Do you remember one time when we were small, we were out...
You know, this geek look that he's got, what with the industrial strength glasses and the greasy hair, it's very much back in style. You go into any coffee house in America and you're likely to be served by a guy who looks just like him.
Right over there. Well, you used to really be scared here.
Johnny,
You're still afraid.
stop it now. I mean it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
Johnny.
Now, this actor coming up here is Bill Hinsman, a man pretty much destined to play graveyard zombies. His other works include Flesh Eater, where he played the Flesh Eater, Season of the Witch, where he played the Intruder, and he was also in The Majorettes, playing a pretty young high school sophomore coming of age in a small Iowa town. I'm kidding. I think he played some sort of ugly creature thing. There you go. That's what Bill Hinsman does better than anyone else. Look extremely ugly. And there we go. Thus begins the timeless horror movie cliche of the heroine following while being chased. You know, I've often thought that monsters and axe murderers must not be able to believe their luck. They're being totally outclassed in foot speed over virtually every type of terrain when suddenly their victim simply falls down. And they'd still have at least half a minute to get up and run, but they always lay there like slugs. The monster must just think, man, what a gift. She had me by a mile. You know, she's lucky this guy didn't have the OnStar system, or he'd just call up and say, yeah, I'm trying to eat this woman alive, but she locked herself in the car. Yes, sir, we have you at the cemetery. I'll open that car for you now. You know, in real life, Bill Hinsman actually had to do this to get a ride anywhere. He wants that wig. You know, apparently, when you're a zombie, the only thing that changes is a little rheumatism in the knees. Well, and, you know, the whole flesh-eating thing, too, I suppose. Only a woman could wreck a car that wasn't even running. I'm kidding. Please don't write in. It's just a joke. Actually, this little scene was added because between the first and second day of shooting, someone actually did smash into the car, and there was no way they could hide the damage. I don't know how the damage occurred, but, you know, we can be pretty sure it was a woman. I'm kidding. Don't write in. Here she's in a full zombie beating pace now, unless she were to trip again. There's no way that clown can ever catch her. Bill just wandered off into the woods. Gas pump just sprang up out of nowhere. It's an organically occurring shell station. You know, I have to admit, the first time I saw this film, I didn't even know it was supposed to be scary, because I grew up in Wisconsin, where at any moment some pale, ugly guy might chase you into a deserted house. Yeah, see, this is all very familiar to me. Did she even stop to consider that this is the zombie's house and, you know, he's got a key? Yeah, look at this. That's a zombie lighting scheme there, and the colors are pretty zombie-ish. That refrigerator also cleans the air to hospital standards. The bewigged actress here, that's Judith O'Dea, whose next film was Claustrophobia. That was released in 2003. That puts her on a 1 film per 35-year clip, meaning her next film is due out in 2038. Back then, you know, people didn't like to abandon their houses unless they were fully furnished and decorated. It's kind of a pride issue, I guess. Yeah. Playing, of course, on everyone's innate fear of taxidermists. You know, it turns out to be a well-founded fear. You're roughly 4.5 million times more likely to be killed by a taxidermist as you are by a CPA or a law clerk. Zombies hate clotheslines. You see, now, here again in Wisconsin, if you called the police and said, "I'm stuck in a dreary, poorly lit home packed with mummified animals," they'd say, "Uh-huh, aren't we all? Stop tying up this line, will you?" And voila, it's dark. The sun didn't set, it crashed. It's a brief Joe Cocker impression there. Here comes another horror movie cliche. If you're being chased, run up the stairs where you have no possible hope of escape. Okay, I don't mean to harp on it, but I still haven't seen anything you wouldn't find in any Wisconsin home. And here we see the first appearance of Dwayne Jones, who later went on to become a household name, and of course, Ganja and Hess. Remember that. Apparently it was the zombies emanating that weird mosquito noise.
It's all right. Don't worry about him. I can handle him. Probably be a lot more of them as soon as they find out about us. The truck is out of gas. This pump out here is locked. Is there a key? We can try to get out of here if we can get some gas. Is there a key?
Zombie fighting is a breeze when you're wearing your easy fit cardigan.
I suppose you've tried this.
Look at that, the wig's just sitting on top of her head.
Do you live here?
Now, pay attention to the blood we're going to see here. It's less frightening once you know that it was actually Bosco chocolate syrup. I mean, it's still pretty scary that they hacked a person open and poured chocolate syrup on them just to get the shot, but...
We've got to get out of here. We have to get where there's some other people.
Again, something people from Wisconsin say all the time.
Maybe we better take some food. I'll see if I can find some food.
Yummy, delicious Bosco! Ah, well, he's got a minute. He's just going to sort some of the recycling.
What's happening?
No. He was not on What's Happening. That was Ernest Thomas. The zombie Jiminy Glick.
Two of them. There are two of them out there. Have you seen any more around here? I can take care of those two.
I don't
I know you're afraid, but we have
I
to...
don't know! I don't know! What's happening?
Folks, I don't pretend to know what motivates a zombie, but part of it might be anger over the tacky clothes their loved ones buried them in. It really is a lot more pleasant being beaten to death with a tire iron when you're already dead. You know, if you were a zombie, you'd probably take a lot more chances with your life. You know, go skydiving, visit the seedier parts of town after dark without fear, adjust your snowblower without shutting it off. This here, of course, is Sack from the Bowery Boys. It's pretty good, really. Folks, there is a lot of movie left, so now might be a good time to go ahead and make yourself a zombie. What you're going to need is 1 ounce of light rum, 1 ounce of dark rum, a half an ounce of grenadine, a half an ounce of triple sec, 1 ounce of apricot brandy, which, if you've got it on hand, really doesn't speak well of your manhood at all. Unless you're a woman, then it speaks just fine of your manhood. Where was I? Oh, right, okay. 2 ounces of orange juice, 2 ounces of sour mix, bottled, 1 splash of Rose's lime juice, really sour stuff that gives you an upset stomach, 151 proof rum, and 1 lemon slice, cracked ice, and ice cubes you'll need as well. Fill a mixing glass with cracked ice, add the light and dark rums, the grenadine, the triple sec, the apricot brandy, the orange juice, and the sour mix. Shake well and strain into a Collins or a highball glass filled with ice cubes. Then you top it with a dash of 151 proof rum and garnish it with a lemon slice. You could even, put a peeled grape in it and pretend it's an eyeball. That'd be kind of fun. Must have taken a horse tranquilizer right before this scene. This whole movie was shot near Pittsburgh, and they had some trouble with this scene because Pittsburgh does require a permit to burn a zombie on your back porch. And they burned it without a permit, and the shooting almost shut down. I guess it was a big mess. By the way, Dwayne Jones went on to star in Fright House with Al Lewis, who of course played Grandpa on The Munsters. And apparently while filming that, more than once, Dwayne Jones picked up a tire iron and tried to club Al Lewis with it because, in real life he looks exactly like a zombie. Anyway, that's what I heard. Oh man, even for a junk drawer, that's pretty darn junky.
Why don't you see if you can find some wood, some board, something there by the fireplace, something we can nail this place up. Oh, God damn. Look, I know you're afraid. I'm afraid too. But we have to try to board the house up together. Now, I'm going to board up the windows and the doors. Do you understand? We'll be all right here. We'll be all right here until someone comes to rescue us. But we'll have to work together. You'll have to help me. Now, I want you to go in and get some wood so I can board the place up. Do you understand? Okay? Okay?
It was nice of him to give her a reasonable speech when really a good slap would have been far more effective. Check this out. The fireplace's owner must have had a great agent. Look how long the camera lingers on it. Just keep the fireplace in the shot. She's a beauty. Yep, that's a nice fireplace. I don't care if the action grinds to a halt. Keep that fireplace in there. Yeah, go nail up some wood or start up the music box and stand there like an idiot, whichever you think will be more helpful. Yeah, once you've lived through a few zombie outbreaks, you learn to store your zombie boards right in the kitchen for easy access. Another little bit of trivia. This film was also released under the title Night of Anubis, Anubis being the Egyptian god of the dead. Anubis was also known as Anpu. And let's face it, if your name was Anpu, you'd change it to Anubis too. It's tough to be god of anything, let alone god of the dead, when your name is Anpu. I am Anpu. See, it just doesn't work. If Night of the Living Dead were filmed at your home, I can see where you wouldn't want to admit that. Yeah, they wanted to use my house because all my doors were off and laying all over the floor, and they like the look of the dirty stuffed boar on my wall.
Not that strong. Here, I want you to pick out some nails. Pick out the biggest ones you can find.
Later.
There, this room looks pretty secure. If we have to, we can run in here and board up the doors. Won't be long for those things to be back pounding their way in here. They're afraid now.
Apparently he holds a degree in zombieology.
They're afraid of fire. I found that out.
It's also interesting to note that this film came out the same year as Don Knotts' film The Shakiest Gun in the West, as that also dealt with an attack by an army of the undead.
Beekman's Diner?
Oh, wait, hang on. Now that I think of it, Don Knotts played a cowardly dentist who gets mixed up with gunslingers and Indians. So,
Anyhow, that's where I found that truck.
forget I said anything.
There's a radio in the truck. I jumped in to listen to it when a big gasoline truck came screaming right across the road. But there must have been 10, 15 of those things chasing after it, grabbing and holding on. Now, I didn't see them at first. I could just see that the truck was moving in a funny way. And those things were catching up to it. The truck went right across the road. Slammed on my brakes to keep from hitting it myself. It went right through the guardrail.
You know, as interesting as his story is, I think he kind of lost his audience.
I guess the driver must have cut off the road into that gas station by Beekman's Diner.
Try to pep it up a little bit.
It went right through the billboard, ripped over a gas pump, and never stopped moving. By now, it's like a moving bonfire.
Try not to pay attention to the constant cricket chirping, or I guarantee you it will drive you batshit insane.
Still hear the man screaming.
You know this scene where he tells his story while one nearly comatose woman sits not paying any attention at all and crickets are chirping in the background? Reminds me a lot of when I used to do stand-up comedy.
Back at the diner to see if there was anyone there who could help me. It was when I noticed that the entire place had been encircled. There wasn't a sign of life left except now there were no more screams.
Maybe throw in a joke or do a little juggling to relieve the boredom.
I was alone with 50 or 60 of those things, just standing there, staring at me. I started to drive. I just plowed right through them. They didn't move. They didn't run or just stood there staring at me. Just wanted to crush them. They scattered through the air like bugs.
We were riding in the cemetery.
She was just waiting for him to be done talking.
Johnny. We came to put a wreath on my father's grave.
I wouldn't chew on that wig. I think it could be toxic.
Johnny, and he said, "Can I have some candy, Barbara?" We didn't have any.
She's really focusing on the least interesting parts of the story.
And
This is making his story look great.
it's hot in here. Hot.
Hey, she listened to your story.
And he said, "Oh, it's late. Why did we start so late?"
He didn't say it like that.
"Johnny, if you'd gotten up earlier, we wouldn't be late."
You know, if I were him, I think I'd just go ahead and throw myself into a crowd of those zombies and hope for a quick death.
Johnny. And then this man started walking up the road. He came slowly, and Johnny kept teasing me and saying, "He's coming to get you, Barbara." And I laughed at him and said, "Johnny, stop it." And then Johnny ran away.
He's not even pretending to listen at this point.
I went up to this man.
No, go on with your story.
Apologized.
Why don't you just keep calm?
And I looked up and I said, "Good evening." And he grabbed me. He grabbed me and he ripped at me. He held me and he ripped at my clothes.
I think you should just calm down.
Oh, I screamed, "Johnny! Johnny, help me! Oh, help me!" And he wouldn't let me go.
You know, I hope they don't do this a lot, have her reiterate big chunks of the film that we've already seen.
He fought this man.
Right, we saw that in the first reel.
I ran. And Johnny didn't come. We've got to.
You know, though it's never happened to me, thank goodness, I imagine this is a little bit what it would be like to be stuck in an elevator with Sally Struthers.
Maybe we better go out and get him. We have to go out and get Johnny. He's out there. Please, don't you hear me? We've got to go out and get him. Please! We have got to go get Johnny! Please help me! Please!
Look, don't you know what's going on out there? This is no Sunday school picnic.
Don't you understand? My brother is alone!
Your brother is dead.
No! My brother is not dead! Oh.
And there we have it, pretty much the same outcome if I were in fact stuck in an elevator with Sally Struthers. Ugh, just try to imagine how many different species of fleas and ticks are holed up in that couch. Probably 30 different phylum of chiggers alone. The last radio show that thing tuned into was probably Fibber McGee and Molly. Maybe the Great Gildersleeve. Or the Chase and Sanborn Hour. Possibly Terry and the Pirates.
Untold numbers of citizens, and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country are pooling their resources through an emergency network hookup to keep you informed of all developments. At this hour, we repeat, these are the facts as we know them. There is an epidemic of mass murder being committed by a virtual army of unidentified assassins.
Another innovation of Night of the Living Dead was it's having things happen in real time. If it took 10 minutes for this guy to nail up a board, by gum, they were going to show you all 10 minutes of it. Really eliminated the need for those pesky edits or pacing.
Ordinary-looking people. Some say they appear to be in a kind of trance. Others describe them as being
They just kind of shuffle in place.
So, at this point, there is no really authentic way for us to say who or what to look for and guard yourself against. Misshapen monsters. Reaction of law enforcement officials.
He really lucked into something here, just stumbled on the home of a wood scrap collector. There's not many of those guys around.
Organized investigation is yet underway. Police, sheriff's deputies, and emergency ambulances are literally deluged with calls for help. The scene can best be described as mayhem. Mayors of Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Miami, along with the governors of several eastern and midwestern states, have indicated the National Guard may be mobilized at any...
Yeah, here's something that all college kids should consider doing right now. You know that chair you found on the corner by the recovery center right near the dollar store? Just take it out back and burn it. It's for the best. Yeah, and the drapes too. Hey, what am I saying? College kids don't have drapes.
Radio and TV for any special instructions as this crisis develops further. Thousands of office and factory workers are being urged to stay at their places of employment, not to make any attempt to get to their homes. However, in spite of this urging and warning, streets and highways are packed with frantic people trying to reach their families or apparently to flee just anywhere. We repeat, the safest course of action at this time is simply to stay where you are.
I vow to make no jokes at all referring to the hot seat. I promise. But if this is how they react to a simple burning lazy boy, I don't see how it's going to be much of a challenge to defeat these things.
We've just received word that the president has called a meeting of his cabinet to deal with the sudden epidemic of murder.
The filmmakers, first and foremost, wanted this to be a movie about carpentry. If it turned out to be scary, you know, so much the better, but it certainly wasn't a goal. It's too bad that door opens the other way.
Says there will be an official announcement as soon as possible following that meeting. This is the latest dispatch just received in our newsroom. Latest word also from National Press Services in Washington, D.C. now tells us that the emergency presidential conference, which we've just mentioned, will include high-ranking scientists from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. That's the extent of this latest...
And here, Romero is letting the audience know that there are still more doors that can be taken off and nailed up.
All radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country, including the one to which you were listening, have joined...
In colorizing this film, one of the biggest challenges facing the designers was what color to make the many stains on the couch. Would its owner have spilled mustard or ketchup? You know, would he have rubbed Cheetos dust on it or the powder from eating Doritos nacho cheese? Is he the type, you know, to spill Mr. Pibb, or would he have sat right there and urinated? You know, these are the things that they have to think about. I think they did a great job.
Even at this hour, even to theorize about the reasons for this wave of murder. So far, the advice we're able to give the public is some Chief T.K. Dunmore of Camden, North Carolina.
First time I saw this, I was worried we'd have to see him take a nap in real time.
Tell them to go home and lock their doors and windows up tight. We don't know what kind of murder-happy characters we have here. End quote. Police Chief Dunmore of Camden, North Carolina. So far, the only descriptions, the only clues anyone has of the killers come from frightened witnesses of some of the slayings. These eyewitness accounts variously describe the murderers as...
Why, this is the only closet not packed to the gills with wood scraps.
...who look like they're in a trance, and things that look like people but act like animals. Some eyewitnesses...
Well, you've probably finished your zombie drink by now, so you might want to try a variation on it called an Acapulco zombie. For that, you'll need 1 shot of vodka, 1 shot of tequila, 1 shot of rum, 1 dash of creme de menthe, orange juice, and grapefruit juice. Pour all the alcohols in first, then top off the glass with the orange and grapefruit juices. Maybe you'll want to put on a funny joke sombrero just to lighten the mood. Then drink your Acapulco zombie really, really fast, and the pace of this film just might start to pick up a little bit.
determined that none of this kind of mass murder has yet been reported west of the Mississippi River, except in the extreme southeastern...
She started doing that an hour ago.
Similar killings have been reported around the Houston and Galveston areas, but nothing like...
I found a gun and some bullets out there.
It was only late yesterday
Oh, and
that it
these.
first became clear we were facing some...
Incidentally, Dwayne Jones was also in a movie called Beat Street, along with Cool Modee, whose real name, I believe, is Colorization Mosephine D'Angelo, and also Ray Dawn Chong, daughter of pot-based comedian Tommy Chong, who in turn was in McHale's Navy with Tom Arnold and Deborah Messing. I bring that up only because I think Deborah Messing has a funny name. Deborah Messing. Fairly disgusting if you think about it.
Join with law enforcement agencies urging you to seek shelter in a building. Lock the doors and windows securely.
Hey, that's us. We're doing all right.
Cautious of any suspicious
Yeah, she's managed to be in this film without really being in it. You know, kind of like Eric Stoltz in Anaconda. He got stung in the throat by a wasp fairly on and was able to just lay around in a coma for the rest of the film. That's just what this lady's doing, only she didn't get stung in the throat by a wasp.
We repeat, this radio station...
Everything is all right for now. I'll be back to reinforce the windows and doors later. But you'll be all right for now, okay? Okay.
I look forward to the exciting scene where she puts her coat back on.
No evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers.
You know, it's possible that this lady simply died from exhaustion after gathering all those wood scraps. I suppose there's the whole melted head thing that I'm not taking into consideration. See, and there's a lesson for all you would-be corpses out there. Have the courtesy to die on a throw rug so that it's easy for the living to drag you around.
Consistent reports from witnesses to the effect that people who acted as...
Hey, watch closely in this next scene here. Watch, and I think you'll see her die for just a second on screen. There, she's dead.
In Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murdered. Repeating this latest bulletin just received
I think
moments
she's
ago
still
from
dead.
Cumberland, Maryland. Civil defense authorities have told newsmen that murder victims show evidence of having been
Well, now
partially
she's alive again.
devoured by their murderers. Medical examination of victims' bodies shows conclusively that the killers are eating the flesh of the people they kill.
Now in weather.
So this incredible story becomes more ghastly with each report. It's difficult to imagine such a thing actually happening, but these are the reports we have been receiving and passing on to you. Reports which have been
Okay, now,
verified as
watch closely here, because coming up is the source of the filmmaker's greatest dilemma.
It would appear that no one is safe from this wave of mass
Yep, that's right. They were worried that having more characters in the film might inadvertently cause something to happen. It might raise interest unnecessarily.
Hold it! Don't shoot! We're from town. A radio.
County, Pennsylvania. The Butler County Sheriff has verified that reports of
Now, these two guys, Tom and Harry, are played by Keith Wayne and Carl Hardman. Keith did not act again after this role, the reason which will become more self-evident as the film goes along. And Carl Hardman, well, he played Bruce Brunswick in the 1996 film Santa Claus. That's C-L-A-W-S, Claus. So Carl is on a 1 every 28 years clip, meaning he's due to make another in 2031, so look for that. Or you could wait for it to come out on video or whatever they have in 2031.
Well, if there were more...
The racket sounded like the place was being ripped apart. How were we supposed to know what was going on?
Now, wait a minute. You just got finished saying you couldn't hear from down there. Now you say it sounded like the place was being ripped apart. It would be nice if you get your story straight, man.
All right, now you tell me. I'm not going to take that kind of a chance when we got a safe place. We luck into a safe place, and you're telling us we got to risk our lives just because somebody might need help.
That's Carl Hardman.
Something like that.
All right, why don't we settle this...
Look, mister, we came up. Okay, we're here. Now I suggest we all go back downstairs before any of those things find out we're in here.
They can't get in here.
You got the whole place boarded up?
Yeah, most of it. All but a few spots upstairs. They won't be hard to fix.
You're insane. The cellar's the safest place.
I'm telling you, they can't get in here.
And I'm
He needs to polish the scuff on his head. He could probably just put his whole noggin right into one of those bowling ball polishers.
Get through this lousy pile of wood.
His wife and kids downstairs. The kid's hurt.
Well, I still think we're better off up here.
We could strengthen everything up, Mr. Cooper.
With all of us working, we could fix this place up in no time. We have everything we need.
I have to admit, this is a little disorienting. After nearly 20 minutes of very little dialogue, you get a heated discussion about how many zombies it takes to roll a car over on its side. It's all a little too much. Maybe they need to break it up with a 10-minute scene of the lady taking off her raincoat.
Hear me when I told you they turned over our car?
Oh, hell, any good 5 men can do that.
That's my point. Only there's not going to be 5 or even 10. There's going to be 20, 30, maybe 100 of those things. And as soon as they know we're here, this place is going to be crawling with them.
Well, if they're that many, they'll probably get us wherever we are.
Look, the cellar. The cellar, there's only one door, right? Just one door, that's all we have to
Just
protect.
get a rag and wipe that thing off.
Blocks and boards from the inside. But up here, all these windows, why, we'd never know where they were going to hit us next.
You got a point, Mr. Cooper. But down in the cellar, there's no place to run to. I mean, if they did get in, there'd be no back exit. We'd be done for. We can get out of here if we have to. And we got windows to see what's going on outside. But down there with no windows, if a rescue party did come, we wouldn't even know it.
But the cellar is the strongest place.
The cellar is a death trap.
I don't know, Mr. Cooper. I think he's right. You know how many's out there?
I don't know. I figure maybe 6 or 7.
Look.
It really is a shame that he made only 2 films, because I think he would have been perfect for the Werner Klemperer story.
I'm going to board up that door.
Oh, good.
No matter what happens.
Now, wait a minute, Mr. Cooper.
No, I'm not going to wait. I've made my decision. Now you make yours.
Now, wait a minute. Let's think about this. We can make it to the...
This was when zombie theory was in its infancy. They didn't even have zombie studies programs at the universities
Let's
yet.
at least consider this a while.
If you box yourself in this cellar and those things get in the house, you've had it. At least up here, you have a fighting chance.
They just want to get in because they have to go.
Yeah, it looks like about 8 or 10 out there now.
There's more than there were. There are a lot out back, too.
This was a tough scene, too. They had to find an actor who was willing to let them hack his hand open with a wood scrap. It's really only about 6 out of 10 actors are willing to make that kind of sacrifice for their role. Now, these zombies, of course, they went on to record the classics Rose for Emily, Time of the Season, and, of course, Tell Her No. And all this after being shot point blank in the chest. It's pretty impressive.
It's all right.
That just made him kind of sad. Yeah, this would be just my luck. The one time a nude woman actually shows up at my place and she's dead. This is zombie Hoyt Axton, if I'm not mistaken. She's not even a zombie. She just fell asleep in her oatmeal.
We gotta fix these boards.
You're crazy. Those things are going to be at every window and door in this place. We've got to get down into the cellar.
Go down in that damn cellar.
This happens to me all the time where I meet someone and I immediately start fighting viciously over whether we should go into the basement or stay upstairs. So, I can understand their passion over this issue.
Because if I stay up here,
I hope their argument goes on for some time because it's something I'm really interested in.
now if you're going down the cellar, get.
The man's insane. He's insane. We've got to have food down there. We've got a right.
This is your house.
We've got a right.
You going down there with him?
Well,
Yes or no? This is your last chance. No beating around the bush.
Listen, I got a kid down there. She can't possibly. I couldn't bring her up here. She can't possibly take all the racket and those things smashing through the windows.
Well, you're her father. If you're stupid enough to go die in that trap, that's your business. However, I am not stupid enough to follow you. It is tough for the kid that her old man is so stupid. Now, you get the hell down in the cellar. You can be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
In case you're interested, in his role as Bruce Brunswick in Santa Claus, Carl Hardman here gets killed with a fork. Oh, if only that would happen in this film. Please get killed with a fork, please.
His mind is made up. Just let him go.
wait a minute.
It's got to be a tough decision because there's probably a bumper pool table downstairs. There's maybe even a dartboard, probably beanbag chairs. Upstairs, there just really isn't all that much to do.
You're gonna let them get hurt too, huh?
It's all right, honey. Go ahead. If we stick together, man, we can fix it up real good. There's lots of places we can run to up here. Mr. Cooper?
Maybe it's not fair, but it's a rule of mine. Never take advice from a guy wearing white pants.
Hey, kid.
He's wrong, you know. I'm not boxing myself in down there.
He just met that lady. Shouldn't he offer some kind of zombie test on her, like hold out his arm for her to eat and see if she takes the bait?
Board it up tight.
What about Tom and Judy?
They want to stay up there, let them. There are two other people upstairs, a man and a girl.
We heard you screaming.
Yeah, but I didn't know who they were, and I wasn't about to take any unnecessary chances.
Of course not, Harry.
It's an interesting choice for an actor to start with inexplicable rage and just build from there.
Is she all right?
I don't know what it is. She feels warm. Maybe it's shock.
Where'd you get the bandage?
Some laundry in a basket. I tore a sheet.
Whatever's wrong with her, smoking right near her face probably won't help.
Let them stay upstairs. Let them. Too many ways those monsters can get in up there. We'll see who's right. We'll see when they come begging me to let them in down here.
That's important, isn't it?
What?
To be right, everybody else to be wrong.
What do you mean by that?
Playing the part of Helen Cooper here is Marilyn Eastman, who was also in Santa Claus, which is considered by many to be one of the worst softcore comedy slasher Christmas films ever made. But Helen had to suffer an even greater indignity by acting alongside Sinbad in the 1995 film House Guest.
There's a radio upstairs and you
She never really recovered from that.
What did it say?
Nothing. Nothing. They don't know anything yet. There's mass murder everywhere, and people are supposed to look for a safe place to hide.
Take the boards off that door.
We are staying down here, Helen.
Harry, that radio is at least some kind of communication. If the authorities know what's happening, well, they'll send people for us, so they'll tell us what to do. How are we going to know what's going on if we lock ourselves in this dungeon?
This is a very awkward moment because he just lost his job at the dungeon.
We may not enjoy living together, but dying together isn't going to solve anything. Those people aren't our enemies.
Mr. Cooper! Mr. Cooper, Ben found a television set upstairs.
Oh, how are you going to keep them downstairs once they know they've got TV upstairs?
Tom? Yeah. If Judy would come downstairs for a few minutes, Harry and I could come upstairs.
They have to get a sitter just to go upstairs.
Will you do it?
Do I have to?
Look, honey, nothing's gonna get done with them down there and us up here.
Now here we see the first real acting of Judy Ridley, who went on to marry Russell Streiner, who was Johnny from the beginning of the film, and also star in his picture There's Always Vanilla. I wonder if they even considered the title There's Always Almond Extract, or There's Always Oil of Clove, or maybe There's Always FD&C Yellow number 5.
I'll take good care of her, Helen.
She's all I have.
Why don't you go upstairs now?
I think the woman who played Barbara would have been great in the role of the girl. All she has to do is lay there. She doesn't even have to stare into space or take off her raincoat. That's it. Stay with your inexplicable rage. Don't do anything else.
Her brother was killed.
Hey, give me a hand with this thing.
I gotta go help Ben with the television.
Well, that's how he got his head scuffed, getting too close to the camera. Lady, take my advice. Don't try to act with Barbara. Nothing will come of it. I hope those on her knees creaking like that. I watch for a sizzling performance from Barbara in what I think is her pivotal scene in this film. Wait for it. No, that's not it.
I'm Helen Cooper, Harry's wife.
There it is.
This place is ridiculous.
Well, that kind of petered out.
There's a million weak spots up here. Give me one of those.
Her brother was killed.
Somehow even that news makes him mad.
And they talk about these windows. I can't see a damn thing. There could be 15 million of those things out there. That's how much good these windows are.
Why don't you do something to help somebody?
Okay, pay attention. This is a great special effect here. There, they show Ben holding the TV by himself. Now, back in 1968, even the smallest TV weighed upwards of 7,000 pounds. So this was actually done with pulleys and cranes, which were later digitally erased at great expense.
Is there anything I can do to
I don't want to hear any more from you, mister. If you stay up here, you take orders from me. And that includes leaving the girl alone.
It's on, it's on.
There's no sound. Play with the rabbit ears.
Reports, incredible as they seem, are not the results of mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. What do they think? We're imagining all this?
Shut up.
Again, we see the deep hatred between the upstairs and the downstairs. It's a feud that still rages on today. Playing the newscaster here is Charles Craig, who began his acting career in a 1953 film called Melba, which I can only assume is about toast. But he then went on to appear in a 1982 film called Chasing Dreams, where, and I'm not making this up, he plays an angry cougar. I mean, I don't mean to cast aspersions, but if I were a filmmaker, this guy would be about the last person I'd pick to play an angry cougar. But, you know, who knows? Maybe he's got well springs of animal passion beneath his newsman exterior.
This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died...
By the way, Kevin Costner was also in Chasing Dreams. I think it's more than a little telling that he didn't offer his good friend Charles Craig a role in Waterworld. Obviously, there's quite a story there, but I suppose we'll never know what went on between those two.
...seeking human victims. It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact. When this emergency first began...
An angry cougar. I don't see it.
Inside, behind locked doors for safety. Well, that situation has now changed. We're able to report a definite course of action for you.
Apparently they like to frame it up so they can see the reporter and also keep an eye on the rest of the staff. Make sure no one's pilfering office supplies.
Protection by armed National Guardsmen. Stay tuned to the broadcasting stations in your local area for this list of rescue stations. This list will be repeated throughout our news coverage. Look for the name of the rescue station nearest you and make your way.
A lady named Sharon has her own central fire department? She must be doing all right for herself.
There's a pump out by the shed.
I know, that's why I pulled in here, but it's locked.
Emergency meeting called this afternoon by the President. Since convening this conference of the Presidential Cabinet, the FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the CIA, has not produced any...
Here I've got to question the inherent drama of watching people watch TV. The only thing less interesting is watching people watch a cribbage game. That has nothing to offer, in my opinion.
Centers on the recent Explorer satellite shot to Venus. That satellite, you'll recall, started back to Earth, but never got here. That's the space vehicle which orbited Venus and then was purposely destroyed by NASA when scientists discovered it was carrying a mysterious high-level radiation with it. Could that radiation be somehow responsible for the wholesale murders we're now suffering?
So it turns out to be radiation causing people to rise from their graves. But, you know, they can look at the bright side. Their fruits and vegetables are probably free from pathogens.
Look.
You're coming from a meeting regarding the explosion of the Venus probe, is that right?
Yes, that was the subject of the meeting.
You feel there is a connection between this and the phenomenon?
They've got Inspector Clouseau on the case.
In other words, you feel that the radiation on the Venus probe is enough to cause these mutations?
There was a very high degree of radiation. Well, just a minute. I'm not sure that that's certain at all. I don't think that has been irrefutably
explanation that we have at this time.
In other words, it is the military's viewpoint that the radiation is not the cause of the mutation.
I can't speak for the entire military at this time, gentlemen.
This seems to
I
be...
must disagree with these gentlemen presently until this is irrefutably proved.
everything is being done that can be done.
We'll have to hurry for our next meeting.
I really think they could have used a splashy graphic like, Zombie Crisis 68 to sizzle this footage just a little more.
Doctor, please. I thought we decided that is not proved yet.
Was the satellite, when the satellite was exploded?
It's easy for you to say.
Under certain circumstances.
Could have happened.
Have a bearing on it.
It does seem to have a bearing.
Will there be a...
Now, see, now by law, they have to give the zombies equal time.
Later this afternoon. There will be a report this afternoon.
Perhaps there will be a report,
yes.
a more
Later.
full report. Will you close the window?
We are doing everything possible to solve the problem.
We're hoping to get some further explanation of this.
We've heard all we need to know. We have to try to get out of here.
He said the rescue stations have doctors and medical supplies. If we could get Karen there, we could get help for her.
Never mind all this. What time is it in Glasgow?
Willard. I saw a sign that said Willard.
It's only about 17 miles from here.
You know this area. You from around here?
Judy and I are both...
Now, Keith Wayne here as Tom. As I said, he went on to act in, well, nothing. Though he did become a power lifter, and if you look closely here, you'll see the kind of performance you'd expect from a power lifter.
Then these other people came. We went down into the basement and put a bar across the door, and it is pretty strong.
How could we possibly get away from here? We've got a sick child, 2 women, 1 woman out of her head, 3 men, and the place is surrounded with these things.
Dr. Grimes,
The budget for chunky horn-rimmed glasses was one of the largest line items on this film.
these things that are happening. Do you have any answers at this time?
Yes, we have some answers. But first, let me stress the importance of seeking medical attention for anyone who's been injured in any way. We don't know yet what complications might result from such injuries.
How bad has your kid been hurt?
Good advice, Doctor.
And this is where Ben really begins to assert himself as president of the upstairs.
You go down there and tell... So now, Judy? Yeah, you tell Judy to come up here and you stay with the kid, all right?
Action taken with regard to the Venus probe. In the cold room at the university, we had a cadaver.
This guy's an expert on cadavers, being one himself.
Amputated. Sometime early this morning, it opened its eyes and began to move its trunk. It was dead, but it opened its eyes.
Body began to move its trunk?
They want you upstairs. Did she ask for me?
She hasn't seen anything.
I don't understand. Baby. It's Mommy. I hurt.
Kid thought she was in a Tarzan film for a minute. Me hurt.
Thank you, Judy.
The body should be disposed of at once, preferably by cremation.
Well, how long after death, then, does the body become reactivated?
It's only a matter of minutes.
Minutes? Well, that doesn't give people time to make any...
That's Frank Doak as the scientist. Rumor has it that he is the father of writer Annie Dillard. But really there's nothing in his performance here that gives you any clue as to whether or not he's Annie Dillard's father.
The bereaved will have to forego the dubious comforts that a funeral service will give. They're just dead flesh and dangerous.
I see.
Judy, I need you to find some bedspreads or sheets to tear up into small strips, okay? Is there a fruit cellar here?
Yes.
We need some bottles or jars. Make Molotov cocktails and hold them out.
And here we see the first sign that the upstairsites and the downstairsites are willing to work together. It's a tenuous bond, but we'll see where it goes.
Or maybe a key to the gas pump on it.
I'll check.
We can toss the cocktails from a window upstairs. Meantime, a couple of us can go out and try to get the gas and come back for the rest of the people.
But that'll leave a door open someplace.
Yeah, that's right. It better be this door. It's closer to the truck. Before we go out, we'll put some supplies behind the cellar door. While we're gone, the rest of you can hold up in there.
I found some fruit jars in the cellar. And there's a key on here that's labeled for the gas pump out back.
I'm not really that used to the truck. I found it abandoned.
I can handle the truck, no sweat.
Good old head scuff there, just radiating rage.
You're it, then. You and I'll go. We'll put whatever lumber we find behind the cellar door. You can go upstairs and toss the cocktails from a window.
That reminds me, you've probably finished your Acapulco zombie by now, and you might want to try a Canadian zombie. For that, you'll need white rum, dark rum, 151 proof rum, green curacao, grenadine, orange juice, and lemon juice. Mix the white rum and the dark rum and pour over crushed ice, then add the juices. Pour the curacao and the grenadine around the rim of the glass and then top with a 151 proof rum. You know, you might want to have a Night of the Living Dead party and make these drinks and then you toss them to your friends from an upstairs window. Kind of fun.
How many do you have done?
You know, since its release, critics have attributed many, many different themes to Night of the Living Dead. Among them, political allegory, morality tales, social commentary. Still others have noted that it's mostly a lot of people hanging around in a house saying really dull things to one another. I don't know who's right.
They might even be there.
I know. Tom, are you sure we're doing the right thing, Tom?
What, about getting out of here?
Yeah.
Well, the television said that's the right thing to do. We've got to get to a rescue station.
I don't know.
Come on, honey, you're starting to sound like Mr. Cooper now.
But why do you have to go out there?
Look, I know how to handle that truck, and I can handle the pump. Ben doesn't know anything about that stuff.
He doesn't know about trucks and gas pumps? Was he been trapped in a cave for the past 30 years?
But there's going to be more and more of those things.
I know all that.
Hey, listen. Remember when we had the big flood? Remember how difficult it was for us to convince you that it was right to leave? Remember we had to go to Willard then? This isn't a passing thing, honey. It's not like just a wind passing through. We've got to do something, and fast.
Wow, she's all over him. I'm going to have to remember that line. We've got to do something and fast. I'll write that down.
Hey, Smiley. Where's that big smile for me? Boy, you're sure no use at all, aren't you? We've got work to do, honey. And you...
They didn't even have any money in the budget for some Prel or some gee, your hair smells terrific to try and tame that flyaway hair of hers.
We better get her downstairs.
We have to go
This classic scene has come to be known as the getting Barbara off the damn couch scene.
Go downstairs now, just for a little while until we get back. Then we can all leave.
Oh, I'd like to leave. Yes.
I think they showed a lot of restraint by not simply saying, "Get your lumpy ass up off the couch, you load." And true to his character, he stalks off with rage.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Hey guys, that's actually the closet door. He's thinking about a deadlift competition he's got coming up. Me lift. A little side note, as effective as Molotov cocktails are, they really taste just awful. And that little rag garnish doesn't do anything for me. Hey, that guy's in a toga. His frat buddies must have buried him.
You ready upstairs? Yeah. Okay, toss him.
You know, at this point, you gotta have high hopes for a victory. The enemy's disorganized, he's wandering around naked in a daze, he's afraid of fire. Really, it's yours to lose. No.
Go ahead, go on!
I wouldn't even think you'd need to run. There's really no reason to pit out your t-shirt. This is always what it's like trying to get away from my in-laws' house.
I'm going with him.
Get back in the cellar.
I'm going.
It's too late. It's too late.
Well, is it coming? Come on. Get in.
Hey, Columbo's been zombified. And just one more question. yeah, this reminds me, because of the 151 proof rum, you could light your Canadian zombie on fire. But I don't recommend it, especially if you have a beard. It's going to be tough on Scuffhead because now he's just got fewer people to be angry at. He's looking around. Just a technical question. If you're already dead, wouldn't you be less afraid of fire?
Come on! This key won't work. Watch it.
Oh, oh man. See, this is why it's best just to go ahead and pay the extra for full serve. They had one small task, fill up the truck with gas, and they whizzed it right down their leg within 15 seconds.
Hang on! Tom! Tom, you're crazy! Get out of the truck!
Stay by the gas pump, that's good.
Let's get out of here! Come on, come on!
My jacket's gone.
Well, they're not in there, so everything's okay, I guess. There's kind of a lot of debate about exactly what you call a group of zombies. Is it a herd, or a pod of zombies, a pack, a yoke of zombies, or a colony? Or are they like apes, a shrewdness of zombies? The zombie community still is not settled on this one. Personally, I like the name given to groups of buffalo, an obstinacy. It's cruel of Cooper not to let him in, but better safe than sorry. Any zombie could have learned his name. There we go. Finally, this movie gets back to what it's really good at, watching people nail boards up to walls. Interestingly, they faked these punches right here, but to get the sound effects, they went off screen and let Dwayne Jones punch Carl Hardman in the face so it would be more realistic.
Drag you out there and feed you those things.
You gotta give him an extra head scuff, is what you ought to do. Watch what happens here. With a truck, of course, they could increase their efficiency, ship carcasses to their neighboring zombie villages, run supplies, all manner of helpful things. But no, they're so short-sighted they simply start eating the pair of them. They'll never grow as an organization with that kind of thinking. Another technical question for which I've never received a satisfactory answer. What happens if you're a zombie and you don't eat any human flesh? Do you die? And if so, I mean, who cares? Because you're already dead, right? Ugh. You know, after this movie opened, there was a sharp drop in sales of blood sausage, pork hocks, and head cheese. Really didn't help the haggis industry either. Or sales of chitterlings, marrow bones, and ladyfingers. Really, really dropped off.
Isn't it 3 o'clock yet? There's supposed to be another broadcast at 3 o'clock.
10 minutes.
Oh, only 10 more minutes? We don't have very long to wait. We can leave.
You hate to silence anyone's input, but she never really adds anything of substance to the conversations.
You know anything about this area at all? I mean, is Willard the nearest town?
I don't know. We were just trying to get to a motel before dark.
You said those things turned your car over. You think we can get it back on its wheels and drive it? Where is it?
Seems like it was pretty far away. Seems like we ran.
Forget it. It's at least a mile.
Johnny has the keys.
Oh, shut up.
You gonna carry that child a mile through that army of things out there?
I can carry the kid.
You know, this slow conversation's kind of making me nostalgic for shots of people nailing boards to walls.
Bit her on the arm.
What's wrong?
Who knows what kind of disease those things carry? Is she conscious?
Barely.
She can't walk. She's too weak.
Well, one of us could try to get to the car.
You gonna turn it over by yourself?
You can't start the car. Johnny has the keys.
You have a car? Where? Where is it?
You won't be able to start it.
Yeah, I know. But where is it?
The zombies have started a taffy pull.
Good Lord.
Now, luckily for that one, the zombie diet's pretty close to the Atkins diet.
Being monitored closely by scientists at all the radiation detection stations. At this hour, they report the level of the mysterious radiation continues to increase steadily. So long as this situation...
Another bit of trivia for you. Dwayne Jones was also in a movie called To Die For. Not the Nicole Kidman movie, but he was in it with Brendan Hughes, who was also in the miniseries Hitler, The Rise of Evil with Peter O'Toole. And, you know, after a hard night of whiskey and sodas, Peter O'Toole looks a lot like a flesh-eating zombie. So, you know, I thought that was quite a coincidence.
Such a search and destroy operation against the ghouls. This one conducted by Sheriff Conan McClellan in Butler County, Pennsylvania. So now let's go to that film report. All law enforcement agencies and the military.
Keep your eyes open in the shot, and I think you'll see Lee Harvey Oswald.
The Survival Command Center at the Pentagon.
There he is.
Disclosed that a ghoul can be killed by a shot in the head or a heavy blow to the skull.
And there's Che Guevara and a Lutheran minister, and that's Twins closer Eddie Guardado.
The plan is kill the brain and you kill the ghoul.
Anything from the supply wagon, Cuss?
No, we're all right. Hey, Cass, put that thing all the way in the fire. We don't want it getting up again. All right, I got you.
Chief McClellan, how's everything going?
Oh, things aren't going too bad. Men are taking it pretty good.
Wow, nothing dampens his spirits. I only hope I'm so optimistic in the face of a zombie attack.
Well, we killed 19 of them today right in this area. Those last 3 we caught trying to claw their way into an abandoned shed. They must have thought somebody was in there. There wasn't, though. We heard them making all kind of noise. We came over and beat them off, blasted them down. As soon as you're finished, can I see you here? Yeah, okay.
Chief, if I were surrounded by 6 or 8 of these things, would I stand a chance with them?
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot him in the head. That's a sure way to kill him. If you don't, get yourself a club or a torch. Beat him or burn him. They go up pretty easy.
If this guy's going to do a lot of interviews, he's going to need to learn the cliches. You know, we're just lucky to be here. We're trying to help the team. You can never count the zombies out. They're a great organization. They've got a lot of young zombie talent.
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
Well, in time, would you say you ought to be able to wrap this up in 24 hours?
Well, we don't really know. We know we'll be into it most of the night, probably into the early morning. We're working our way toward Willard, and we'll team up with the National Guard over there, and then we'll be able to give a more definite view.
Thank you very much, Chief McClellan. This is Bill Cardill, WIC TV 11 News.
Thank you, Bill, for that report. Official spokesman declined to speculate just how long it may take to kill off all the flesh eaters, so long as the heavy rain...
I'm more apt to believe that a stray zombie just got tangled up in the power lines than to believe they actually learned to use wire cutters.
In the cellar? I don't know. It isn't the fuse. The power lines are down. Helen, I have to get that gun.
Haven't you had enough?
But 2 people are dead already on account of that guy. Take a look out that window. Get...
Hey, isn't that Rob Zombie? You know, if I were a zombie, which, you know, thank heavens I'm not, I'd be trying to get into that fruit cellar. Maybe find some corn relish to help choke down the raw human flesh. Maybe a little pickle lily or some watermelon rind pickles. Yes, and now the zombies become tool users, putting them at about the intellectual level of a sea otter. I still have to believe the humans can outlast them. His head scuff's getting bigger.
Go ahead. You want to stay up here now? Helen, get in the cellar. Get in the cellar now. Move!
Here's another little-known movie fact. In movie fights, the guy with more hair wins 95% of the time. There, you see? Always bet on the hairier of the two. Ugh, you know, this reminds me of the time I was groped by puppeteers. It was last year at a Renaissance festival. I got too near the Punch and Judy stage, and, well, I'd really rather not talk about it if it's all right with you. Playing the little girl here is Kira Shawn, who was Carl Hardman's daughter in real life. I have to wonder how she feels about that. Gee, thanks, Dad, for sticking me in your lousy ghoul movie. Hey, Bill Hinsman's back, and the ugly curve just rose exponentially. Oh, you see, this is just disturbing. Dad, can I go play hopscotch with my friends? No, you get down in that dingy basement and pretend to eat your father's flesh, or there'll be no supper for you.
Oh, baby.
Oh, look at that. She picked up tool use a lot more quickly than her brethren did. She must have gone to a Montessori school before she died. Daddy, can Betty and I go get an ice cream? I told you, you're going to stab that lady to death with a trowel or there'll be no ice cream ever. Oh, the zombies, weak as kittens, but they have tremendous forearm strength. Hey, Johnny's one of the few people whose looks are improved by becoming a zombie. Cured his astigmatism, too. Bill Hinsman, professional zombie. I suppose it ended up being sort of useful for Carl Hardman that he could threaten his daughter with things like, clean that garage or I'll put you in another one of my cheapo zombie movies. This is just how I think of those people who line up and wait for the discount coat store to open. You know, the dead eyes, the shuffling walk, the fact that they'll bite your hand off if you try to get in front of them in line. That guy's not in on the plan. He just wants to tip over a bureau. Oh, too bad. You know, if you didn't have Bosco available for blood, could you use powdered Ovaltine or Carnation Instant Breakfast? He has to pretend like he's not enjoying that. Another technical question to chew on, so to speak. If zombies eat the flesh of the dead, why don't they simply turn on each other? And if that little girl had eaten all of her father's body except for his head, would that have woken up because the brain was still intact? And further, if a zombie ate a dead guy's whole head, would that head then come to life inside his stomach and eat his way out of the zombie? These are serious questions, and I think they require some very serious and considered answers. They just have no goal now that they're in. No one's in charge. Well, I gotta hand it to them. The zombies got their traffic reports up and running pretty quickly. Ah, there it is, a murder of zombies bounding majestically across the Great Plain. Oh, no, not zombies, my mistake. Must be LBJ on the campaign trail. Here's another thought. Would zombie dogs still go crazy for bacon? And would they still lick themselves, or would they only lick other dogs who had recently died?
Hey, Vince, Al, you want to get about 4 or 5 men and a couple dogs? There's a house over here behind those trees. We want to go check it out. You still here, Bill?
Yeah, Chief, we're going to stay with it till we meet up with the National Guard.
Where'd you get the coffee?
One of the volunteers.
Playing the sheriff here is George Casana, who, I'm afraid to tell you, was also in There's Always Vanilla. So if you want to see a film with all your favorite actors from this film, only with an incredibly stupid title, I can hardly recommend There's Always Vanilla.
Stay with it, and everything appears to be under control.
Now, Dwayne here wasn't in There's Always Vanilla, which, I don't know, seems kind of strange. It seems like if you were in this movie, you'd have to work really hard not to be in There's Always Vanilla. You know, in fact, now that I think of it, I was in There's Always Vanilla.
They need you down there by the barn.
That guy wore his white pants to zombie hunt? What an idiot.
Somebody had a cookout here, Vince.
Yeah, sure looks like it, Cop.
You know, in case there ever is a zombie crisis, I've already written up a business plan for a zombie hunting business, so don't even try to jump my claim on that. Hey, those aren't even zombies. They're just deputies who are a little overtired. Oh, now they're loving it.
He's the dead one. Get up here. Nick, Tony, Steve, you want to get out in that field and build me a bonfire?
Could you still play the piano as a zombie? Ah, what am I saying? Elton John's done it 1,000 times.
You, drag that out of here and throw it on the fire. Nothing down here. All right, go ahead down and give him a hand. Let's go check out the house, man.
There's something there. I heard a noise.
All right, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes.
There. Do you feel uplifted by the ending? Do you feel your human spirit soaring? Or do you feel like I did when I first saw this movie? Like drinking a 12-pack of Milwaukee's Best on the couch in my underwear until I passed out. I'd really rather not visit a town like this that's able to produce so many countless meat hooks on such short notice.
Keep those dogs back off of those things.
Oh.
Go more quickly.
Ah, yes, Chilly Billy Cardill. Wait a minute. Who the Sam Scratch was Chilly Billy Cardill? Why the nickname? Is there a refrigerant expert in this film and I missed it? By the way, I thought William Mogish was just terrific in this film. I'm kidding, I have no idea who William Mogish was. Though I suspect he was a guy who shuffled along with his arms at his front, grunting. So, you know, nice job anyway, William.
With the motorcycle, please. Let's go back there. That's the way. Hey, Randy, light these doors.
Okay, folks, that was the intermission. So welcome to part 2 of Night of the Living Dead. We open the second half just as our entire cast is being burnt in a raging inferno. Oh, I guess not. Well, that's it. I'm Mike Nelson. I'd like to thank you for joining me on this special track for Night of the Living Dead.